Bonjour mes amis, j'espère que vous allez bien. First of all, I'm sorry. I know it's been 2 weeks since I haven't put out any videos. I was actually keeping very busy, but I know this is not how it should be. And I would try to be more consistent as before. So I have promised it to myself that no matter what, I'm going to upload at least one video per week. So I promise that this would not happen again. While I wasn't able to shoot any video during last 2 weeks, I went through all the comments of my previous videos to make a list of questions that I've got from you guys so that I can try and address most of these as soon as possible. So I have seen a lot of questions about TEF Canada exam in general, like how the exam is conducted, what are the sections, what is the fees, what is B2, B2 plus, so many questions. So in this video, I'll try to answer all the questions that you have about TEF Canada exam. I'm also going to talk about the structure, how many sections are there, what is the difference between B2, B2 plus, C1, C1 plus, how should you really read your result when you get it, because sometimes when we get the result and you see B2, 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 you may get excited, oh my god, I've passed the exam. But when you look at the score particularly, you realize that probably you have missed by a few points and in particular sections. So I'm going to talk about all of those things in this video. So first of all, what is TEF? TEF is Test d'Evaluation de Français. It is an exam which is conducted by CCI Paris. This exam is accepted by Canadian government for immigration purpose. So this basically tests your French ability. So if you're somebody who's planning to immigrate to Canada and you know French, you can take this exam to get extra points for immigration purpose. And if you get B2 plus in each section, you would get at least 62 points. And then the chances of you getting through the express entry draw would skyrocket because you would get 62 points from this one exam itself, right? So if you want to take this exam, you can simply go to CCI Paris website. I'm going to share the link in the description box below. Select your country, and then on the right hand side, you can see all the cities in your country where this exam is conducted. As I said, this exam is conducted by CCI Paris, and you can take this exam at any Alliance Francaise location in your country. So once you find the ideal location for taking the exam, you can just go to Alliance Francaise website for that particular city. You can register for the exam on their website itself, and it's a very straightforward process. Sometimes you have to transfer the amount through NEFT. You can also call them directly, or they also provide their email address. So it's very easy to connect with them, and you can just go through the instructions on their website, which vary from center to center. So you have to be very careful about that. Yeah, so that's it. That's how you register for the exam. All right, so now that we have talked about how to register for the exam, let's take a step back and look at how many sections are there, how the exam is, actually conducted, what is the sequence of the exam. So let me go to my laptop, and there are a few things that I want to share with you. So please stay tuned till the end. There are 4 sections: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. And the sequence would probably be the same as you can see on the screen. They would probably start with reading and then listening, writing, followed by speaking. But it really depends on the center. Sometimes you might have to take speaking first, followed by reading, listening, and writing. So let's look at them one by one. In reading section, you will have 50 questions. All would be multiple choice, and you will get 60 minutes to complete the section. When you get your final score, you will get it out of 300 points. In listening, you will get 60 questions, all would be multiple choice, and you get 40 minutes to complete listening section, and you would get total score out of 360 points. For writing section, you will get about 60 minutes to complete 2 sections. In section A, you would have to write a short article on a breaking news, which is called fait divers, and you have to write about 80 words. In section B, you have to write a letter and you have to express your opinion on a particular topic, and you have to write about 200 words. For writing, you will get overall score out of 450 points. And last but not the least, speaking exam would be conducted face to face with an examiner, and it would last for about 15 minutes. There would again be 2 sections. In section A, you would be presented with an advertisement. You have to call up the company and ask about 10 questions on that advertisement. Your examiner is going to play the role of the representative from that company's side. So essentially, you would be asking 10 questions to your examiner. In section B, you have to call up your friend and convince your friend to participate in some event, in some activity. And your examiner is going to play the role of your friend. So it would be basically a conversation that you would have with your examiner for 10 minutes, and you have to convince him or her to participate in the activity. For speaking, the overall score that you will get would be out of 450 points. In order to pass TEF exam, you need NCLC 7, which is B2 plus in each section. B2 plus is upper intermediate level. So in reading, to get that level, you need at least 207 to 232 points out of 300 points. In listening, you need between the range of 249 to 279 out of 360 points. And in writing, and speaking, you need about 310 to 348 points out of 450 points. In reading section, as per CCI Paris, you need to get at least 36 questions correct out of 50 to get B2 plus, but it is an approximate number, but you should keep that in mind that you should get at least 36 questions correct out of 50. Similarly, in listening, as per CCI Paris, you need at least 44 questions correct out of 60. I found this information in one of the videos by CCI Paris, so I'm going to share the link to that video in the description box below so you can go and check it out. I've got a lot of questions regarding French alphabets and how do we really use them in the writing section. So I decided to put an image of the kind of screen that we get in the exam for the writing part. So this is how your screen is going to look like. And at the bottom of the screen, you would have French virtual keyboard, which will have all French special characters. So during the exam, whenever you want to use any special character or accent in French, you will have to open this virtual keyboard, click on that particular alphabet and then close it. It is a bit of a task because every time you want to use an alphabet, you have to click on it and you can't copy paste. So it takes some time, but this is how it is. And this is how exactly you are going to get a virtual keyboard on the screen itself. So you don't have to worry about typing it on your keyboard. And then on the right top corner, you would also get a timer and you would also get number of words. So as I said in section B, you have to write about 200 words. So that would give you a good indicator in terms of how many words you have written. So you don't have to really count the number of words. That is one advantage of writing it on the screen itself rather than writing it on a paper. So there's one particular problem that I faced in the exam and I've heard it from other people as well. So I thought that I'll mention it quickly in this video. When you write on the screen, sometimes it's difficult to scroll down and there is no scroller provided on the right side of your screen. So if you also face this problem and you're not able to scroll down, then just press enter button on your keyboard couple of times and you would be able to scroll down. As I said earlier, to pass the exam, you need at least B2 plus, which is NCLC 7 in each section, which means you get about 450 points in each section out of 699. So if you look at the screen, B2 is basically 400 to 499 points, but B2 plus is 450 to 499 points. So when you get your result, if you get B2, it doesn't necessarily means that you have cleared the exam. You have to look at the score as well. If it is more than 450, that means you have got B2 plus. But if it is less than 450, or maybe if it is between the range of 400 to 450, then it's B2 lower. Similarly, for C1, you can see that it is NCLC 8 to NCLC 10, and the range is 500 to 599 points. So if you manage to get 530 plus in a section, then you qualify for C1 plus and you would get more points in that particular section. So if you get B2 plus, you get 3 points in that section, but if you get C1 plus, you get 6 points in that section. I just wanted to show you this bar because sometimes it gets tricky and difficult to read our own result. And that's why I wanted to give you the understanding of what is B2 lower, B2 plus, what is C1 lower and C1 plus. But I'm going to show you some results so that you understand it even better. Now let's look at this example. So whenever you get your result, the first thing that you need to see is obviously last column, which is niveau. So if you look at this example, this person has got C1, B2, B2 and C1. C1 and C1 is great. Now in two sections you can see B2, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this is B2 plus. So for that you have to look at column 2, which is score out of 699. Second row is comprehension oral, and in this section the person has got 437, which is lower than 450, which means it is B2 lower and not B2 plus, which means that person has not kind of cleared this particular section. Now the next row is expressio écrite, which is 495. Great, this is 450 plus. Then Expressio Oral 519, great, this is 450 plus. Now if you look at the last column for points, this person has got 3 points in 3 section, which has B2 plus. But in one section wherein this person has got 437, which is B2 lower, the person will get only 1 point, which means that this person doesn't qualify for a bonus score. I'll talk about bonus score in a second. Let's look at another example. Now this person has also got B2 in each section, but all of them are not B2 plus because in Comprehensive Oral it's 422, which is B2 lower. So similar to the first example, this person was able to get B2 plus in 3 sections, but B2 lower in one section, which means total point would be 10 points. Now let's look at this example. This person has got C1, B2, C1, C1. So which means that C1 in 3 sections, that means we just need to look at B2 now. Alright, so in B2 it's 452. So just slightly over 450, but this person has passed the exam with B2 plus in each section. Now, Comprehensive Écrit 3 points, Comprehensive Oral 3 points, Expressio Écrit 6 points. Why? Because in Comprehensive Écrit it's actually C1 plus, which is 545 out of 699. So this person managed to get C1 plus in one section. That's why it's 6 points. And then in the last row, Expressio Oral, it's 518, which is C1 lower. So again, this person gets 3 points for Expressio Oral. So overall 15 points plus 50 points bonus. So when you get B2 plus or C1 or C1 plus in each section, then you get 50 bonus points as well, which means for the immigration purpose, this person has got actually 65 points from French exam, which is great, and which would actually make a lot of difference in the overall score. And hopefully this person would definitely get through express entry draw next time. If you're wondering about the exam fees, it really depends on the country where you are taking the exam. For example, in India, it cost about 25,000. Now the result is released between 4 to 6 weeks as per CCI Paris website. But in most cases, they generally release it in say 7 to 10 days. But sometimes I've even heard people getting result in just 2 to 3 days. So I think it really depends on the center and the time of the year when you are taking the exam. And the result is valid for 2 years. For practice, there are some websites where you'll find a lot of material to practice. For example, on Prep My Future and on TEF Academy, there are a lot of mock tests available. So I would highly recommend that you start with Prep My Future and then probably attempt mock test on TEF Academy as well. Apart from Prep My Future and TEF Academy, I would highly recommend that you join a Facebook group. There are so many for TEF exam specific and TCF exam specific preparation, because these groups share up-to-date information. There is a lot of material that they share from previous exams, and you can also hear people's experience after taking the exam. I'm going to share the link of the Facebook group that I had used particularly, and I found it very, very helpful. I think it was a gold mine with a lot of practice material from previous exams. So I'm going to share the link in the description down below. Apart from that, if you're looking for a private tutor for speaking and writing practice, you can find private tutors on italki, Superprof, Preply. I have used italki a lot and I've talked about it in many videos before, and I was able to find the best teacher for me on italki. So I'm going to share some links in the description box down below. If you want, you can check out these platforms. I used italki particularly because I think it is very user friendly. You can easily search for a specific teacher. You can set your price range. I think Preply and Superprof are not very user friendly, but I don't know. I haven't used these platforms a lot. So I would let you decide. You can try all of these platforms and try and find a private tutor for you. Yeah, and I think with that, I've covered almost everything that I wanted to talk about in this video for TEF Canada exam specific questions that I've got from you guys. If you feel that I've missed anything, or if you have any questions apart from what I've already covered in this video, please feel free to share your comments or your questions in the comment section down below, and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. That's it for today's video, guys, and I'll see you next week. Till then, take care. Bye.